Imagine a fireman afraid of fires, a preacher afraid of preaching, a lifeguard afraid of water, a teacher afraid of teaching. Have you ever been afraid of what you know you have to do? Well, I'm a poet, and I've been afraid to write this poem because I've been afraid to tell this truth. I've been afraid to let me loose because I found comfort in my noose hanging by a thread. I decided to tell the truth instead. You see, the place that I've come to love is the place others have come to hate. Apologetics has taught me the importance of listening to their complaints. Some of their accusations are legitimate. Favoritism is prevalent. God is an equal opportunity employer, but some of his supervisors have become just a little bit discriminate, judging people by the sin they were saved from, as if the church isn't a hospital full of sin-sick souls being treated by the great physician, taking the same medication, the application of his blood. We're all patients being rehabilitated by his love, but how quickly we forget. I'm here to help you remember that the church is his body of which we are all members. It's not a social club. It's not a fashion show. The aisles aren't runways for you to strut and strike a pose. It's not a fraternity for the rich, famous, and status quo, because the only pledge to getting here is the sinner's prayer. If truth be told, things are getting ridiculous. The people are delirious, misinterpreting scriptures. They learn to make Christianity mysterious. It's not the world God said would perish because of ignorance. It's the lack of knowledge in our own faith that's killing us. Question: why do we find ways to point fingers when we should be extending arms? I've noticed that although we preach grace at times, we tend to administer law. Ministers get so caught up in ministering, they forget to minister God, but ministry's chess, not checkers. Serving the king is every minister's job. And whether you see you as a pawn, queen, bishop, knight, or a rook, we're all fishers of men. Bait the king's got on the hook, but since most are hung up on looks, most will ignore what I have to say, especially since there's no title in front of my name. See, I'm not apostle, so-and-so, prophet, pastor, teacher, or evangelist. I'm just, how can I explain it? I'm just an apprentice, and I'm tired of the shenanigans. I'm tired of the games people are playing in his name, and since the pulpit has become the promised land, I'm gonna be a voice in the wilderness, in the pews, crying out things need to change because things need to change. Ignorance can no longer reign. The truth won't just set you free. It'll make you free if you're a slave bound. In the name of liberty, we gladly accept these chains. I didn't find a redemption in Shawshank, but you can call me Andy Dufresne. Slowly but surely, I dug my way out of my shame, crawled through my mess for my message. There's no stains that God can't clean. There's no heart that God can't fix. If he can harden the heart of a pharaoh, I gotta believe that he can soften the heart of a witch. You see, life is the matrix and Jesus is the glitch. That's why battles ain't won by the strong nor races to the swift. While the prideful are abased and the humble he uplifts. It's not by power nor by might, but by his spirit that lives in us. I love church. But the question I have for some is this: is your purpose to build the people or to build the new edifice? You see, people beget people, but buildings don't beget buildings. I've watched us hurt people's feelings all in the name of giving. Now I understand we got bills, and I know there's two sides to the story. But if those sides aren't linked or synced, we run the risk of becoming spiritual pimps who use Jesus as a limp. Let God arise and his enemies be scattered. Let God arise and his enemies be scattered. Let God arise and his enemies be scattered. I cry loud and spare not wherever his people are gathered. This is a divine reminder to the parishioner as well as the pastor in the body of Christ. Every joint supplies. Remember, everybody matters.